Wait, we're back here?
I was watching Rocky Horror Picture Show yesterday, singing along as I'm sewing on my Halloween costume, and my husband comes up to find out what the hell I'm yelling at the... I'm yelling some of the extra lines, if you've ever gone to the live show. He's lucky, I'm lucky, we're all lucky, the pole's lucky.
Yeah, I think the last time I went to Rocky Horror Picture Show was in high school.
Yeah.
But
no, he was like, what the hell are you yelling? And about that time, the thing was like, said something with, the word Brad in it. It's like, asshole.
All right. Welcome everybody to Thursday Night, brought to you by the Sword Coast Chronicles. My name is DM Galabond. I am joined on the Roll20 and on the Discord by most of our players. We have one of our players who is actually in the process of moving between states, and he's got some furniture to set up this evening. So he may be able to join us during the session, and he may not be able to. So, last time we saw this lovable bunch of rapscallions, they had disembarked from on or under the Grand Dame riverboat and casino, and they had adjourned to the Good Deer Inn. Now, I am willing to do a slight little rewind because there was a bit of a snafu that happened during last week's session. And that little bit of a snafu is that it was revealed that one of the players had, or one of the characters had, and I think I put it in the wrong journal. One of the characters had found an item, and then it was kind of just not mentioned at all for the rest of the session. But now, Thaldohr, did you keep Lord Drylund's journal in your possession through the rest of the session?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Well, if you look in your journal now, you will actually find Lord Drylund's journal. And if you want to, you can read over that a little bit, and we can say that before you meet with your contact in the Thieves Guild here at the Good Deer Inn, that you could sort of bring the party up to date. And you can either do that by summarizing what you have read there, or if you want me to, I can just share it with everybody and let them read it for themselves. I don't know what you would want to do.
Give me a second. I gotta open Roll20.
Okay.
Oh my god, you already read.
It takes me a minute to walk everybody, so I just got to the living room. And got my computer fired up. Is it really long, or is it like a whole journal?
It is excerpts from there. I would say that if you printed it out on paper, it'd be probably a couple of pages. So, I mean, we can get to that maybe a little bit. So, actually, why don't we wait until you've had a chance to review that, and then we'll sort of go back and see what you know about that for your conversation.
That's dark. Oh, I just read something in it. That is dark.
Come. You're going to have to read this to us.
Yeah, go ahead. You want me to read this dark part to you real quick? This is really dark.
Is this something that you would go back to the room and you would say, "Oh, hey, listen to this"?
Spill the beans.
So a lot of his entries here are saying, all praise to Slarkathrel. I think that's how you pronounce that, Slarkathrel. Safeguard my pathway to power. You grant me wisdom. I bend Yartar to reflect your glory. So this must be that, right? Yeah. So here's what's crazy. So he did an entry 2 months ago. Slarkathrel has instructed Drylund that when he takes the Grand Dame to Purple Rocks, to sacrifice the Water Baron's grandchild. He should rendezvous with the Morkoth, the ship captained by the one Thulth's Daggerdark. Drylund is annoyed because Slarkathrel has indicated to him that it will be Mothrock's captain that gets to offer the child as a sacrifice to it. Wow. Slarkathrel has promised Drylund that he will have his throne in Yartar, but apparently the Daggerdark is somehow above Drylund in hierarchy of the followers of his power. This annoys Drylund to no end. The journal entry contains an entire list of detailed plots of how Drylund and his men might be able to overpower this Daggerdark and destroy him so that Drylund can have a place of honor and glory in service to Slarkathrel that he deserves. That part's just really, really dark.
And you guys all thought Belle was being dark, wanting to kill this elf who didn't take her shiny and trade it for a dolly.
Well, that's a different question. I think we need to go back to that boat and have a word with this Drylund.
Isn't he dead?
Yes, but we don't know that.
We don't.
I told that. No, I told you.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, Belle and Krenraid don't know because Belle wasn't down in the bathroom.
Belle would know. No, Belle would know.
Talking Elvish.
When we were leaving, he said that he's been dealt with, but that's not that's not literal enough for some party.
Yeah.
Forgive my impertinence.
That's true.
On
that's true.
Intelligence.
You are correct. You did say that he's gone, but
Yeah.
But looks like wow. And then just the last thing in the entry, it says one act of disobedience he writes was writing down the tasks that his Dark Lord set for him. He was instructed to burn all the pages of his journals that contain those tasks. Once he burned the final one, the headaches merciful left him. This entry begins with the praise and thanking for his power for its infinite mercy. So apparently he didn't burn everything he was supposed to burn if he was still having headaches.
Oh, he disobeyed his lord.
Apparently, and his lord was pissed when he told me what was going on. So that makes sense.
His lord was angry?
Apparently. Well, he was supposed to sacrifice a child, apparently. This doesn't sound like a good deity to me. Yeah, I mean, just reading through, it's insane. This guy, I don't know what he was on. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. It's rambling. A bunch of it's rambling, and just and helping onshore casinos. Right, so he knows. Oh, he knew about that. Oh,
yes.
About what?
Ooh. So apparently he knew. It says that the young lieutenant in the local Zaharium chapter has worked in league with Drylund to speed his dreams of becoming the next Water Baron of Yartar. He learned that the young man who cannot hold his liquor is the father of the water. Ha ha! Ha ha! So now we have proof twice. So as I'm reading this, I look it over. I said, because we're still in the room, I guess, before she shows up. And I'm reading through this, and I'm like, interesting. Okay. So, in Retcon, when she shows up, I'm going to pull out the information we need out of the book, like rip the page out, which is about which is the entry that talks about, the entry, journal entry 2. I'm going to pull that out because it gives us more information about Morkoth and where we got to go and stuff. The headaches I'm not worried about. Not worried about the pain that he's going through because of Daggerdark. But yeah, I pull that out, just that one entry out, and I'm going to hand that book to her and said, look, this should suffice. It's written confession.
Okay. All right.
Drylund was involved and wanted to take over Yartar.
Yeah. Yeah. It is pretty incriminating.
It's so evidence, yeah. And it would be for Josiah too.
Yeah. So there's the key. You guys hear the key in the lock, and the gnome, who is the head of the Thieves Guild here in Yartar, enters, and she says, "Well, seems like you all had a productive night."
More productive than you know.
Well, if the rumors I hear from if the stories I hear from my agent are correct, there is one problem that has been eliminated for Yartar. I never trusted that Casper Drylund very much. I always knew he was going to come to a bad end. I thought it was going to be on the, on the sword of a thief or of a double-crossed business partner, not.
Oh, sweetie, or excuse me, oh my lady, it's much worse. And I walk up and I said, this should clear our friend. This should take care of any problems you have with the Water Baron and the Water Baron's husband. This right here should be well more than enough proof to cover everything that's happened. Because apparently he was in it with the Zentarum as well. And I hand her the book.
And she skims over it and says, "Oh, yes. Well, this would be rather incriminating." And then she continues to read, and her eyebrows climb, and they continue to climb. And then she looks up at Thaldohr and looks back at the journal, and looks up at Thaldohr and looks back at the journal. And she says, "He was a freaking madman."
Yeah, I'm getting that.
And she says, apparently, he not only planned to sacrifice the Water Baron's grandchild, but then to turn around and murder the grandchild's mother and father, and return to Yartar and use and concoct a story that would make it sound like the Water Baron and her husband were part of an evil cult that requires human sacrifices, and that Casper Drylund and his crew were hoodwinked into giving the young couple passage, and they tried to save the babe, but they were unable to. Oh, and he thought that was going to land him in the Water Baron's seat. And she just shakes her head, says, "What an idiot."
Back the wrong pony in that race.
Yes. Well, what do you know? What do any of you know of this Slarkathrel? Is that name familiar to anybody?
I would.
Are we there?
Yeah, you're in the room.
Yeah, you guys are in the room.
Sorry.
Sounds like a kind of snake.
All I know from what I saw, that's somebody I don't want to screw with. I believe. After reading that, what I put together that apparently that deity killed him, like just with everything that I've read.
Well, between what you read and when you told some of the others later on, Mulek kind of remembered from his studies of the arcane that there are some powerful entities that can scry using psionic abilities, and then he theorized that perhaps he was killed for revealing the location of the storm of King Hecaton to you. So yeah, by remembering what he said and putting everything together that's in the journal, this Slarkathrel might very well be that entity.
The Kraken, or related to the Kraken somehow?
He never specifies what kind of entity.
He never specifies the deity in the journal.
I'm just going off of what Mulek has heard and knowing that this Kraken is involved somehow.
Because they call themselves the Kraken Society, right?
Yeah,
the Kraken Society.
So the name, would Mulek recognize that name?
Slarkathrel. Go ahead and make me a history check, if you will.
Pulled up Roll20, didn't pull up me beyond house.
Oh, wow, 26.
Nice.
There you go.
26. In fact, you have heard that name before. And let me tell you a little bit about what you know about that name. You know the following.
Watch it all come together, and the little high elf, little snooty one, is actually a part of the whole scheme of things. So Belle was actually doing a good thing, was trying to kill her, but then everyone talked her down about it. But then she still deserves to die, so we're gonna go kill her anyway.
What you know, Mulek, is that in fact, Slarkathrel is a name that is given to a legendary kraken that is rumored to haunt the depths of the trackless sea, which is the ocean off the west coast of it's beyond it's beyond the Sea of Swords, which is right off of the Sword Coast, way out into the deep ocean to the west. And one legend says that Slarkathrel was old when the giants and dragons waged war against each other 40,000 years ago, and that this kraken has always longed for a path to divine ascendancy. But it kind of wants it. It's an ancient, incredibly powerful being that kind of wants to be a god, is the legend that you've heard. And that it's not explicitly stated, but it's implied that this kraken may indeed have had a hand in the original war between the races of the dragons and the giants. So it's like it might be that kind of scheming, manipulating sort of creature.
Yeah, so Thaldohr, I believe that name found in that book is associated with this potential Kraken that is related to this Kraken society. A very dangerous, old, powerful being. We need to tread lightly, especially after what this creature may have seen when you were in that room.
Thank God I was disguised, and I'm still in disguise. But
Hopefully it couldn't see through your physical disguise. We need to tread lightly.
Well, then we might need to make a message to a certain powerful friend of ours when we're done here.
Yeah.
Get some insight.
Does a Kraken live in the sea then?
Yes.
Okay, so are we going out into the sea soon?
Well, that's where I believe if we have desires to save the giant king, that is where all points seem to lead.
That seems like a mighty coincidence to me. Yeah. I think if we're going by ship and not by air, then we'll probably need something we can defend ourselves with. We used to have these giant ballistas, but I don't think they'd fit on a ship.
If it's a big enough ship. But that's something we'll have to talk about later. We'll have to discuss that game plan and figure out what's going on.
Kraken's going to sit in the corner and just melt to himself. How does one fight a Kraken?
Carefully.
These quackers. Sorry.
It's all good. But no, that's plans for we need to pull resources and figure out what we're going to do. That's going to take some time. We kind of did great with our plan on the boat. We didn't, cause chaos like we normally do. So I think we need to gather a plan, talk with our allies, and figure out where to go from here. Because we just can't run into something that powerful, a being that I would almost say, and this crazy coming from me, that's almost ultimate death. I don't mind facing death head on sometimes, but I like to do it more skillfully, and it's going to take that skill in order for us to figure out a plan to rescue the king. And if it takes us fighting a giant Kraken, I don't think we have the ability. I'm not doubting our abilities, but it's going to take a lot more than just us to do something that
huge. Yeah, I at most can hold my breath for like 2 minutes ish. I practice in the tub, but I don't think that's long enough to fight something as big as you're describing.
Oh, we've got the ability to breathe a lot longer than 2 minutes underwater. That's not an issue, but it's deeper than that. Hence the pun.
In fact, Krenraid, you are still under the effects of a spell that was cast on you before you got onto the boat. That I think it's for 24 hours.
Yeah,
gives you the ability to breathe underwater.
Yeah,
so
well, I tell Krenraid, I go as a test. Krenraid, go find the tub and go just sit in it and put your head under the water. I think you'll be.
I was about to say, I was kind of leading myself up to that to be like, we could do what? Because he doesn't understand. Like, if someone tells him you can breathe underwater now, you'd be like, wait, how? Excuse me?
Go try it out. Just go find the tub.
Yeah, I'm gone.
We got
I'm
time.
going to the bathroom.
Yeah, and just soak and put your head underneath the water and just breathe.
Belle, on the other hand, will just be staring at Thaldohr, then slowly raise her hand with like the most evilish, disgusted look on her face.
Let me guess, Belle. The word water, and we have to go in it.
That's not happening. How about we take the Kraken and then we put him on land, suffocate him, and then we don't have to touch water at all?
Don't think it works that way.
Dez is sitting on the bed. He's sitting there smoking his pipe, listening to everybody as he's kind of contemplating. And he looks over at Belle and goes, well, we could always dress you up in a skimpy outfit and make you into sacrificial beings so that, we can call the Kraken up out of the sea and fight it that way. I hear that it likes sacrifices. And then
I would just turn her disgusted to look all the way over to Dez and say, me? A sacrifice?
It's better than going on. It's better than going under the water, apparently.
Yes, very true. No one can kill me. I know many people who tried. You remember those kobolds? Mulek, you remember the kobolds? Those creepy little whatchamacallit, the dragon people in the cave tried to torture us for a lot of information, and then I'm like, no, you're not going to get anything. I make the best sacrifice. No one can kill me.
Yep, exactly. So, but, that way we can draw it up to land and, or so the tales go. But you know how tales are.
Yes, we can, what's that one? Polymorph. Polymorph the big, huge hacker and, put him up on land and make him suffocate and die.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of fun.
That's a great plan, Bill, but when this is a being that can kill you from miles away, I don't think that's going to work.
But we just discussed this. I can't die. I'm the sacrifice.
Dez just kind of grins and takes another puff on his pipe.
And Lady Grentina turns and looks at Belle. She's got a very quizzical look in her gnomish eyes. And she says, well, Thaldohr, one of the things I was going to ask you all for when I came here is for something to help clear the names of the people at the Fat Dragon. But I believe this journal, she waves it, will do just that. I also believe, while it will exonerate your friend Falazure, wherever he may be, and she clearly looks over at Deckard when she says that, wherever he may be, it clears him of being the child's father. It also both implicates young Josiah in a scheme to defraud the casinos, but makes it clear that he was merely a pawn in the plans of Lord Drylund. I think that the Water Baron and her husband can use that sort of leverage to ensure that he stands up and walks straight once his term in prison is finished. There's nothing I can do, I don't think, to keep him from serving time for being involved in a scheme of the Zentarum. But this is going to put us, the Thieves Guild, in a much stronger bargaining position with the Water Baron, and will align us against the Black Network and perhaps reduce their influence and hopefully cull their numbers here in Yartar. Because the Water Baron's husband will be wanting blood from somebody for this. He probably will not want to take it from the father of his grandchild, but all of that man's associates, they may either need to run or be run through, if you get my meaning.
Loud and clear.
So, you all are off to fight a kraken. Well, I'm afraid that's a bit out of my league. Not much help I can be there.
You've been a great help, my lady. And
you know what makes us better than one sacrifice? 2 sacrifices. How would you say?
No, Bill. No. This lady has a very important job here in this city. And my lady, I very much appreciate your patronage and your time and allowing us to stay in your inn.
Oh, you're welcome. I thought that you merely were going to trade one problem for another, but I think you have, on the balance, made life much better for the Thieves Guild in your time here. I will have to, next time I send a message to your uncle, I will have to tell him what a clever boy you've turned out to be.
Well, he did raise me, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, he did a good job, it seems. All right. Well, you all enjoy your stay. I would suggest that, and this is strictly out of self-interest, just on the off chance that this kraken, as you say, may know something about you and where you are. I would prefer you not be in my inn if he comes looking for you, or if he sends people to come looking for you. If it's all the same to you. So stay a few days, but hopefully only a few days.
That's fair. It shouldn't take us that long to figure out what we're going to do.
Very well. And then she says, may I keep this, the rest of this journal, or is there anything you all... Okay.
It's yours. Yeah, I'm done with it.
Wonderful. Very well. And she opens up what looks like a belt pouch that looks like it would be far too small to hold a full-size journal like that. And she pulls it open, and you all can see that when she does pull it open, there's just like an abyssal black maw in there. And she just slips the whole thing in and closes it back up, and it looks like it's, it doesn't look like it's any more full than it was before. So then she gives you a little wink, and she exits the room and closes the door behind her.
Wow, so I got my 500 gold back, and when Ken shows up, he got his 2,000 gold back.
Yep.
Wow. Nice.
Thank you, Gally.
Yeah.
Now what do we do?
Galabon, what was unfortunately I forgot to bring my notes on my trip. What was the name of the ship that King Hecaton that was transported on?
That is the Morkoth, the same ship that's in the journal.
And
it's named in the journal.
And I think in there, the notes also that I'd got was the Trackless Sea, but more specifically the north.
Yeah, there's northern islands, and in the journal, it names a place called the Purple Rocks.
Yeah, Thaldohr pulled that page out of the journal.
Purple Rocks, okay. I'm just putting together. I'm putting together my sending.
Okay.
Oh yeah, to speak with Morning Canaan.
Aren't the other old man?
Hey, that old man is very powerful. And that's somebody I wouldn't want to screw with on my best day. So yeah, Morning Canaan. As surprised we just can't say his name 3 times when he shows up. Lord knows he's probably scrying on us as we speak.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like watch. Morning Canaan, and Thaldohr just looks around.
Say, no, you didn't say it right. Annoying old man. Look around.
He must have been watching at the moment.
She'll point over at Falazure and say, oh, there he is.
So as the discussion was going on with the Thieves Guild, I'm thinking about what I'm going to send to Morden Canaan, and after a moment, I will step probably into a side room, an adjoining room, or I'll find somewhere a little bit quiet and cast sending at 4th level, since I have no more 3rd level. And this is what I will send. Oh, shoot. It didn't.
I do love you, James. I love how you actually type it into the chat.
Well, yeah, I'm doing it, and then I just get kicked out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah. All your efforts.
Gotta log back in.
You can come join me in the tub if you want. It's nice and private, I know. Krenraid's laughing underwater currently.
I was going to say, is that what he's doing? What is Krenraid?
Yeah, he's literally face down in the water, just going.
He's amused by the fact he can breathe underwater.
He loves it, honestly. He's practicing punches at this point.
Okay.
Nice.
Via ship.
Hecaton transported via ship Morkoth beyond the trackless sea, possibly Purple Rocks. Kraken Slarkathrel is involved. Need help getting there and discovering more.
And a reply will come back to you presently. Meanwhile, see, this is a clever DM trick to cover for having to spend time coming up with a message. Let's go around the room meanwhile, and while Mulek is off doing his sending, we've seen briefly what Krenraid is doing. Dez, what are you doing?
Out of character, I had sent you. Oh,
I saw a response. I can't remember either. So.
Well, you're no help. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure I'll find my notes, but basically, Dez will kind of look around at the rest of you and go, well, the reason that I had gone out was just a chance to, before this, was a chance to commune with nature and talk to some spirits, so to speak. And, they've kind of set me to task to do something. Out of character, I'll give you all, or in character, I'll give you all the details, but I can't remember what the hell it was.
Something about they were cutting down trees and setting fires and stuff like that or something.
Something like that.
Part of what I remember from that conversation.
Yeah. Like I said, I wrote down a whole bunch of notes and then I cleaned my desk.
Yeah.
Been there.
And I mean, I have them. They're just in a big pile of paper somewhere.
Yeah. Disorganized, just anywhere. Yeah.
So, he'll tell you about that and say, I need to make sure that I take care of this issue before we leave this land area. So he'll just kind of look around at you like kind of giving you the idea that when the time comes, if you want to join him, you can. Otherwise, he'll go take care of it by himself and then rejoin you.
She'll completely overlook that look, and she'll say, well, do you need any help? I like the nature, but if there's water involved, that's a big no-no.
No, it's mostly trees, forest, land.
Well, then, what you need to do? Like, details. Or do you not know that because the trees have to speak to you some more?
No.
Will the tree speak to me too if I hit on that? She'll kind of point at his little pipe.
Sure. And he hands you the pipe.
She'll kind of turn over to Thaldohr and really? With an excited look on her face and look back at Dez and it's like, can I? She kind of looks over and Falazure that's dressed up still
he
as
kind
Deckard.
of chuckles a little bit because he's like, oh, she's in for a surprise.
But seeing how she gets no response from anyone, she'll innocently take a toke off of it.
And you get a mouthful of spit before you get this. I'm speaking from experience as a small child. My dad did that to me. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's gross.
I did the exact same thing.
Yep. Oh, you want to know what it's like to smoke, huh? Okay, well here, take a pull on the pipe.
Yeah.
Straight to the toilet. Get out.
Oh,
Still start heaving and
and Dez just kind of chuckles because he's just like.
So Mulek will.
That's what happens to you when you smoke.
Mulek's going to come back into the room and say, I've reached out to Mordenkainen. His counsel to us was snatch the king as quickly as we can and then get out of there. So it appears that's the most help we will get from our old friend.
You're joking.
No.
So if we
that's
can,
Mordenkainen for you.
who here knows much about these purple rocks? Has anyone ever been there? I have never been there.
I haven't.
Can Bella do a check to see if she's known anything about them or not?
Sure.
Same thing here.
As a bard, you can see what you've heard about them. As a druid, you can see if you've heard anything about them.
What do you
They're
want
part
to
of the
roll?
natural world. For Dez, roll nature. For Bell, roll history because I believe that's what you would have. That's how you would have come across it as tales or stories or conversations with people, or maybe read something in a book somewhere.
I'm gonna give myself bardic inspiration too, if I can.
Okay.
I should.
Wait. I think
Guidance,
you can give yourself guidance. We established a long time ago. We read in the book you cannot give yourself bardic inspiration. You can only give bardic inspiration to other people.
Okay.
A bard can't give themselves.
There's an optional rule that was released with Tasha's that does allow them to do so, but it's optional.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then Tasha's, and I think maybe we were reading that before Tasha's came out.
Most likely,
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and that for some reason that just stuck in my memory that we had looked that up at one time.
You are right. Like normally you can't, because the whole idea is you rouse others to greatness, not yourself. Like you're correct, but
But I can say
there is technically a
full of himself.
Yeah. So 21. Belle, you've just heard the barest about the purple rocks, and all you can confirm is that they are a sparsely populated group of islands out in the trackless sea. It's there's an old sea shanty about a sailor who dreams, or who met a girl who claims that she was from the Purple Rocks. And he's trying to, the song is all about him trying to get people to take him to the Purple Rocks, but nobody wants to go out there because there's supposed to be sea monsters out there, and they want to avoid the place. And the singer and the people listening to the song are supposed to get from it that the girl was probably lying to him in telling him that she was from the Purple Rocks, but this sailor was just so enthralled and enchanted with her that he has believed it and wants to do that. And so it's kind of like everybody else in the song is kind of making fun of him, but he doesn't realize it. So it's a humorous song. It doesn't really give you any good detailed information, but just it kind of says that there is this place out in the far out in the trackless sea that's called the Purple Rocks. So
I'll kind of ramble on about it, so the others probably maybe tune out. But then again, they might tune in on certain points of this and that, because the way she speaks, she'll jump from one story to the main point, back to another story of the story of that story. She'll say, oh yeah, there was monsters, and there was this really nice woman who said that they lived there, but who knows if she actually lived there. And then this guy fell in love with her, but everyone was laughing at the guy because then oh, this pretty little lady, how can she be from Purple Rocks? Purple Rocks actually look pretty nice, by the way, because they're really rare. They kind of look like gemstones, especially when they're wet. But then she'll go back to saying, oh yeah, but who knows if she was actually real or not? The Purple Rocks, who knows? It might be on a map. I've never seen it. I don't know anything about the Purple Rocks, but who might know about the Purple Rocks? Behind her,
going blah 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 blah, rolling his eyes.
I just remembered we have the conch. If we can get to the king, we can get him out of there quickly.
Yeah. So Thaldohr, we've got the helm of teleportation, right? But how much can we rely on that taking us to a place that none of us have ever been to?
Something tells me we might have to charter a vessel.
So we either charter a vessel, which could take a long time and could be dangerous. We could roll the dice and try the helm. I don't know.
But none of us have been there, so it'd make it very difficult to get.
It would. Yeah, it would. But it could. But we could probably get to Waterdeep or somewhere where we could, find passage. How easy or hard is it to find passage to the Purple Rocks? I do not know.
Would Waterdeep be the closest area to that? If I pulled up a map.
The ship had set sail, according to what Mulek learned from Luskan. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could probably find something from Luskan as well. Have any of you been to Luskan? I've been there a couple times. I'm not super familiar with Luskan, but
cannot say that I have been. Left home and joined up with whom I now know as Morkoth and ended up in that cursed land, and pretty much now every place that I go is new. So can't help you. Sorry.
I'll kind of think for a moment. Let's try and think about where her and Falazure went before. See if they've played any songs or concert or anything in that area.
Well,
are you on the spot there?
I'm trying to figure out whether that
normally he dictates where we know and things like that. That's the type of details that he keeps a hold of. So
he's got a scrapbook of his old gigs, little coupons and business cards, maybe.
For the helmet of teleportation, though, I think the person who is wearing it has to be the one who's familiar with it. So I guess we should be asking Falazure if Falazure is familiar with Luskin. I know he's talked to us about Waterdeep. Don't know about Luskin.
We'll have to converse with him when he is able to join us.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't think there's anything specifically. Speaking out of character, I don't think there's anything specifically in either Bell or Falazure's background about Luskin. I would probably be willing to let them both make some sort of check just to see whether they had been there or whether they had run across people from there, because they had adventured a little bit before they met up with you all and began the story that started this particular campaign. So yeah, that would be a potential thing.
So
I'm trying to look at him. I'm trying to look at
I mean, if not, I mean, Falazure could probably loan me the helm, and I could, it would take me a day to become attuned to it, and we could teleport there through me. I've been to Luskin, and that's one option. Mm-hmm. And then once we get there, I could give Falazure the helm back.
That wouldn't hurt my feelings. Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
We probably need to rest up here anyways, so we probably have a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's fair.
You got really quiet there, huh?
Way ahead of you. This boat kind of jumps in excitement, jumps on Falazure's bed, pushes him off, and just tucks herself in and wraps herself in the sheets.
So I guess Deckard can come out of his costume now.
Yeah. You guys could all potentially come out of your costumes. You will be safe here as long as you're in this inn. Should you need different disguises or something like that, you could put those on before you leave and go about the city. You could probably get some sort of word to Lady Grentina and find out, exactly what the timeline is of when and how they're going to, break the news to the Water Baron and her husband.
I would love to be there to see that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's probably something she would.
I'm also going to, while we're discussing this, I'm going to cast another sending spell to the Queen and send generally the same message. I'm basically going to update her.
You mean the princess?
Oh yes, the princess, because the Queen is dead. Yes, the princess. That we basically the same message. The King Hecton transported the Purple Isles. And I'm gonna leave out the need help getting there and discovering more, but I will add. We'll make our way there. Help if you can, and leave it at that.
Okay. All right. And okay, she gets that message, and now it's time for another round of what is everybody doing in the room? The DM composes a reply.
Oh, that's a better map. Yay.
Not in the room currently. I'm counting my fingers in the tub and starting to nod off.
Yeah. Let's check in on Krenraid. So you're still in the tub under the water.
Head's face down, and I'm counting my fingers, and I'm trying to think about like all the things I can do now while I can breathe underwater. Like it's going to be so much easier to catch fish. I could probably find lots of shiny things underneath the water. It's going to be like a whole new world has opened up to Krenraid. I can't wait to explore it. And he's probably going to fall asleep face down just in the bath.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
he'd still be good. I mean,
if anyone comes in for a midnight bath, they're going to see a dwarf face down in the tub.
yeah. You did make me roll a die, but at the moment nobody has come in yet. You did make me roll a die. Damn you! No.
The bathtub escapades continue.
Well, I'm supposed to be thinking about this response to Mulek. Okay. No, that's fine, Paul. That's fine, Paul. That's what players are supposed to do. So, all right. What's while Mulek is waiting for a reply, what's everybody else doing? Thaldohr, we haven't heard from you in a bit. What are you doing?
I guess Thaldor's going through his head like in a map. Like when he said Luskin, and because I'm actually looking at a map of Sword Coast. So Thaldohr, because he's been to Neverwinter, I don't think. Well, we went to Baldur's Gate, and that's north of Neverwinter, isn't it?
No, that's way to the south.
That's way to the south.
Way to the south.
So we went to Waterdeep. We went up north. I'm trying to think if I've ever been to Neverwinter. But he's just thinking, going through his head,
Well, certainly through the Thieves Guild, you may not know personally any contacts in Neverwinter or in Luskin, but you would have heard about Luskin,
right?
Because Luskin has long had a reputation as being a place run by
thieves,
by kind of thieves and pirates.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's like there's definitely some shady stuff that goes on in Luskin, and it has kind of it's kind of this double-edged story that's whispered among the Thieves Guild. It's if you listen to some people, it's kind of like their idea of a Thieves Guild paradise of Luskin, where someone can start off as a common cut purse and eventually rise to control the wealthiest pirate empire in Luskin. And then other people think of it as a terrifying place where you have a knife at your throat every time you turn around, and you could be walking along the street minding your own business, and then suddenly be all but conscripted into slavery to serve aboard a pirate ship, just because some gang of toughs decided that they didn't like the way you looked at them, and they bring up charges against you, and your choices are you either go into the dungeons or you go serve on this ship. So there are, depending on who you ask, people either love it or they're terrified of it.
Got you. So yeah, it's my type of town.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Like
hive of scum and villainy.
I'm not that much of an ass, Dez. Come on. I've took very much good care of you in this group, have I not? And I wouldn't let anybody get into trouble.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I know, and I come over and give him a big old
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right. I come over and give him a big old hug, though. I give Dez a hug.
I still want to see the Water Baron's husband.
No.
Oh, come on.
No,
it was
Dez.
so fun.
I
Even though
know.
I was half asleep.
I know. But I heard you roar when I was out back, and that's like, I slid right past him. I was like, oops. But I knew you could handle yourself, and it was funny just hearing him go, he probably crapped himself when a big old bear shows up.
Well, then I hit him with skunk scent, and
you covered that up real good. Yeah, I knew you can handle yourself. You never poked the sleeping bear, and I poked Dez.
Exactly. I treasure my beauty sleep too much.
So Thaldohr pulls out his pipe, and he's just in there smoking with Dez.
Oy.
It's going to be a long trip no matter which way we look at it.
So, what do we know? Let's go back over. What do we know about where the king is? Or are we just still...
So he's on the way to the Purple Isles. Now, like...
The Purple Rocks?
Purple Rocks, yes.
Well, he may already be there.
He may be there, right, yeah.
And he was taken because... Just to remind myself.
We don't know.
We don't know why he was taken.
We don't know why.
Maybe it has something to do with that big blue dragon that was in the throne room.
And the Kraken.
And the Kraken, yeah.
This Kraken's got a lot of history with giants and dragons. Maybe there was something that Hecaton had found that this Kraken's interested in, or who knows.
Kind of mad at Mordenkainen. He could have been a little more insightful.
Oh,
he basically said, yeah, get in, get out.
Look what he did to me for how many months?
True. When you were stuck in Barovia? Yeah.
Yes. Took me to Barovia and then poof, disappeared. And then come to find out that my friend was truly the famous Mordenkainen. The jerk.
He can be, apparently, from what I've noticed.
Oh, well.
With our times in dealing with him. He wants us to go on a death-defying mission, but he won't raise a finger. I see how it is.
So
well, I guess when you're as old as he is, the bastard.
I reached out to the princess.
What'd she say?
She's happy with the news. She says that these purple rocks are less than 500 miles west of Maelstrom, and that she wished she had some way of flying us there.
Well, that'd be lovely.
That's about all. I mean,
so should we go back to Maelstrom?
Speaking of flying, I could. Well, it doesn't appear that they have a way. I mean, we would be in the water there, so I think we would be stuck swimming 500 miles. I don't think she has a way of flying us there. She would have.
I could walk 500. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I would walk 500.
You know, I could create us all phantom steeds, but still 500 miles, that would take a very long time. So
I'm just wondering, can they offer us any assistance? I mean, besides trying to get us there, they're very powerful beings themselves. Because is there nobody?
I think she would have told us if she had a way. She just said she wishes she had a way of flying us there.
Have we tried scrying on
scrying on? Do you have something of the king that you can scry upon?
Didn't we have something of his? Wasn't that the
conch? But I think it has to be something on his person.
Oh. I don't know.
Or something that we have that he is holding, or something like that. I don't quite.
Let me think about this for a little bit.
But I think our best bet is either to chance the helm or somehow charter transport from Luskan or Waterdeep or some other major port. What do you think is our best option? The helm, we could end up on the other side of the world. So that's probably not the best. But if
we could take the helm to a city, would be the easiest route.
Yeah, that's what I'm proposing. I could take us to Luskan, and we could try to charter something from Luskan, or by passage or something.
We're not broke. We could do that.
And I mean, or at least get to Luskan and see if there's something of a better option. I don't think we're going to find a way to get there from here.
I think we'd be okay in Luskan. I don't think anybody would mess with us because of my connections. I think we'd be all right. I've never been there. I just know the stories that my uncle told me of the city. We should be okay.
Yeah, before we leave, maybe you could get some contacts from your lady friend.
That would be fair. I'll go see her first thing in the morning after we get a good night's rest. And where is Krenraid?
I don't know.
Very faintly in the distance.
Would you like me to go pull him out of the bathtub before he prunes himself?
I guess he's having a blast. So yeah, probably the smart thing to do.
All right. He gets up off the bed and stows his pipe and heads on over to where the bathtub is.
Yeah, like most inns, it's got a part of the basement where there's flagstone floors and several large tubs and a big place where you heat the water and can have a bath. It's, as I said, it's very, very similar in architecture to the Fat Dragon Inn. So
he goes downstairs and basically he goes downstairs, finds the tub where Krenraid is doing his thing. And at that point
you walk in, and Krenraid, what does Dez see when he walks into this?
He's ass up in the bathtub.
Yeah. So, butt ass naked, face straight down in the tub. And at the moment, he's currently shadow boxing. So he's picking a point in the bath and he's trying to punch it in various means. Thinking like, all right, we've got to fire a kraken. I know what to do. Do this. Get an uppercut.
How big is this tub?
It's a tub. Yeah, it's a tub that is sized. These tubs are sized that someone of Dez's stature could comfortably sit in them and bathe in them. So for a dwarf, it's not like a pool that you could easily swim laps in, but it's like a small pool that he could easily be fully submerged in.
So basically, Dez walks over to where he's at, shakes his head like, "Oh God, the things I do for my friends."
And about bubbles rising up.
About that time, he transforms into an otter and leaps into the bathtub.
Okay,
after running off of his back. Boom, 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 sploosh.
Yeah, Krenraid, you feel these little clawed feet on your back, and then an otter swims into the tub with you.
Hello there, little guy. You can breathe underwater too, can't you? This is great.
And Dez just sticks his tongue out at him.
Oh, that's very cute. I don't have any fish, but maybe the barkeep can get us some, and then we can have some more fun in this up. Hold on. Oh, he's going to start getting up.
Okay. So he gets up.
By the time he gets up, Dez basically leaps up out of the water. He's got a beard, doesn't he?
Krenraid?
Oh yeah,
I think.
So he grabs a hold of his beard and kind of hangs off of his beard.
Right. A bit tight, but that's all right. That's fine.
Lets out this high pitched squeal like otters do, and then dives back into the bathtub.
Oh, you are an adorable little scamp. I like you. All right, I'll be back. Hold on.
And then at that point in time, Dez turns back into Dez while he's in the bathtub. Are we done now?
I didn't see you in there, Dez. I didn't realize it was that big. Have you seen a ferret?
You mean the otter?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell the difference, to be honest. They're very cute.
Ferrets don't go in the water.
They don't?
No. Huh. And that was me.
Wait, what was you?
The otter. You know, I can
change, right? Wait, you can change it to other things other than dog and octopus. You can change it to something like an otter?
Yeah.
What else can you change it to?
A lot of different things. Just depends on what I'm in the mood for or what is needed at the time.
Can you change it to a dragon?
I changed I could, but I'd be a very young dragon.
I mean, we need to get somewhere, right?
No, wait, not able.
No, okay.
No. I was a bear earlier today.
Oh, that must have been fun. There's a massive creature. It's very.
I got to roar at the. I got to roar at the stupid arse of a husband of the water baron.
Actually, technically, that was yesterday, and that was before you completed a long rest.
Yeah.
So your first use of your beast shape was becoming an octopus, and now becoming an otter is your second use. So I don't know how many uses you have of that. Okay, so yeah,
but once I get to sleep, we're good.
Yeah. Because remember, you guys, for this mission, you guys started a mission at 8 in the evening. By now, it's the next morning, and your long rest, you guys can either stay up all day and then have a long rest, or you can, kind of work your way back to a normal. Yeah. Work your way back to a more normal sleep cycle. All right.
That is incredible. The fact that you could change it to all these different kinds of things, that must be a lot of fun. Like that otter, that otter was adorable. Honestly, you could have convinced me to give you any kind of fish and I would have given you fish. Like, do you, like, I didn't know what to feed you when you were in your octopus form, when you were on the side of the boat. What do you like to eat? Is it like what your animal form would eat, or is it what you would eat? Like, do I feed you lettuce or do I feed you meat?
It is what I would eat. However, certain digestive systems of animals may not handle things like macaroni and cheese in the water.
Okay, you're going to have to explain what digestive system means.
Your stomach.
Yeah.
Some animals really only do well by eating grass and vegetables and don't do well eating blood, like, meat. And then there's some that they strictly survive on just meat and fur and bones and stuff like that.
Interesting.
You don't see owls eating lettuce.
Okay, well, we're gonna need. So it's just what you would eat. That's okay then. I'll just send. Well, what's your favorite thing to eat? You don't eat meat, do you? I don't think you do. Wait, do you?
I have in the past. It's not my favorite, but I do understand that the body needs a little bit of protein, fuel, right? Once in a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely agree. Nothing like a bit of mutton and a drink to get me in the mood to do something. Bit of engine.
But nothing saying that I can't have a bit of meat now and then.
Okay. Well, I'll have to keep some snacks on me then, of various sizes, depending on the form you take.
Well, you were giving me beef jerky earlier.
That's true, but I didn't know if you'd eat it. I was just lobbing it over the side, to be honest.
No, when I was a dog.
Yeah. You were a dog, right?
I was a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, time to go. Time for bed. Time for rest.
I'm going to sleep in the tub.
No.
Why not?
You would come out looking like a prune.
The prunes are delicious. What's wrong with
that? They're all wrinkly.
Yeah.
Do you want to come out with your skin all wrinkly?
Oh, no, that sounds awful. Okay, I'm coming. Let me get my clothes.
And Dez, you also know that water breathing has a time limit on it.
Yeah. But it's like 24 hours.
Yeah, so what we say this is probably like 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So potential, if he's really tired, if he slept for too long, it might wear off while he was in the tub.
You might drown.
Very possibly.
Don't want you to drown.
I don't like the idea of my the idea of wrinkle skin falling off. So it's like, all right, no, pass.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. The sooner we rest, the sooner we can be on our way once we figure shit out.
He's already slapping on his furs and getting his belongings from the corner of the room.
Okay.
You really should try it. It's very therapeutic just sitting under the water and thinking for a bit. I'm going to have to ask.
Why do you
who did the third waggling? It must have been Mulek.
Well, I can actually do it, but yes.
Oh!
It's a spell I know as well.
Oh, God, you finger wagglers are great. I'm starting to see the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing I could do it now, too.
Don't know. Might have
anyone who could do it is a finger waggling in Krenraid's mind. It doesn't matter the means. You're all wizards.
Oh, brother.
Oh, yeah, just clothes on, ready to go.
All right, let's go.
All right. So, Dez and Krenraid make their way back to the room. And is anybody planning to do anything else in particular before everybody takes a long rest? I don't think anybody has sustained any injuries, but a lot of people have used up a lot of resources.
All set to go.
Ready to pass out.
Do we want to sleep during the day and then travel tonight, or do we want to just kind of get stuff done today and rest tonight?
Oh, we could do that too.
I'm not.
What do we have left to do?
I'm not in a big hurry to leave. I would like to prepare. I have some things that I could spend some time doing, as well as getting in a nice long rest. But
then let's figure out what we've got left to do.
Leave here tonight.
Sorry.
Okay, let's go around and then we will start with Mulek. What kinds of things would Mulek like to do before leaving Yartar?
Since we're in a nice, safe place, Mulek would like to spend some time in solitude studying some more of his scrolls, and then doing that before his long rest. So that's basically what Mulek would want to do.
Okay.
Wouldn't mind checking in on the people at the inn that have their names clear to make sure they got back to normality after our, ingress.
Okay, that's probably going to be a matter of something that you can't do until the following day, because you only just now gave the information to the woman that's the head of the Thieves Guild. She's going to have to ensure that information gets to the Water Baron in a sanitized form that also, does the intended job of proving who the father of the grandchild is and implicating Lord Drylund, because the Grand Dame is probably going to come under new ownership after this is all said and done.
Well, we're doing it alone.
Were they disposing of the body or anything like that?
No, but when at the time you guys left the ship, they didn't even know that he was dead, because the story was that Mulek or Thaldohr's contact on the boat had been given the story around that he had visited Lord Drylund a couple of times during the night, and Drylund was irritable and in pain, and cursed him out when he brought his whiskey to him at 3 in the morning. And he just complained about how grumpy he had been. So they hadn't even gone to check on him by the time you all left the ship.
It was more of a convenience thing. When the timing allowed, then that would make sense to do so. I don't think he was going to do it today anyway.
Okay. All right.
I just wanted to make sure that was on the cards. Other than that, today, he's probably thinking more on his time at Hillcrest, and the defenses that he would have seen on the walls for repelling fairly large creatures would have been very large ballista of various kinds, some of which had spear-tipped hooks. So he's probably thinking to himself, well, I've been spearfishing before. I know what harpoons look like. Well, if I just make a very big harpoon, wouldn't that work? Maybe? So he's probably thinking about how that would actually happen in a forge and the various pieces you have to combine to do so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Big, huge crack in a skewer so we can cook it over a fire.
He's probably going to also ask Mulek, if it's magic. If he's going to disturb Mulek's research for a minute, unfortunately, but he's going to ask, if it's magical, now that I know that silvered weapons are required in Barovia, do I need to silver this giant harpoon I'm planning to create, or do we, just use that as is? What does Mulek think?
Silver will work against certain creatures, but it doesn't necessarily make it magical.
Oh, right. It's only certain kinds of magical creatures, not all magical creatures.
Correct.
Okay.
It doesn't make it magical, unfortunately.
Is there any way we could make it magical? I could say nice things to it, but I don't think that would work.
If you find someone more powerful than I, you could probably, for enough coin, have it enchanted.
Of course, that would cost a lot for something I'm thinking. It's very big. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll just make several and hope it sticks. We should have chains on him, or a hook for chains. I mean, I don't think we could really do much with that. What do you think?
You talking to me about chains on your spear?
Well, so I'm thinking that we put a little hook for chains on the end of it, right? We might be able to stab it down and have the chain attached to something. My question is, I don't think there's anything strong enough to handle what was described by Thaldohr. It sounds very big. I don't know, a chain would probably just snap to me.
Are you talking about the Kraken?
Yeah.
We're not going to mess with the Kraken.
Oh, we're not going to mess with the Kraken?
No. We're going to get in and get out. Get in, get out. Do you know what that means? That means we get there, we find the giant, and we get out. We leave.
I like that. How are we leaving?
The helm or the conch. Leaving's not the problem. It's getting there is the problem.
Oh, I see. And we can't just fly there.
Well, I mean, we could fly part way, but that's a long flight. I could do something. Dez could probably do something to help us part way, but it would, unfortunately, I don't think it would be long enough to get us as far as where we're trying to go.
I don't believe I have the ability to make us fly.
Well, can you not turn into a creature that could carry somebody?
One person?
That's what and I could do one person too, right? So it would not work.
No.
Also, with enlarge reduce, if that is a spell known, you could theoretically carry more, but I wouldn't worry about it.
But the time, I have no way of, turning into something that would last as long as we need to get where we're going. Plus, if we were attacked mid-journey, that would be a bad situation to be in.
Okay, well, I'm going to think about this harpoon just in case, because quite frankly, I think it sounds like fun. Thanks. Enjoy your books.
Cool. You go for it.
Oh, yeah, as Mulek was saying, get in, get out. The thing I'm good at doing. We need to make a plan. We got a plan. We got to get there. That's the first step. Find King Hecaton and then grab him, blow the conch, and that's us getting out.
Yeah, I figured you would take Krenraid aside and re-explain what you guys were talking about as he wasn't in the room. And, then I would kind of know the gist of what we were doing at that point.
Yeah, so I pull you aside and I go, I just want to let you know, Drylund is dead. He's sleeping with the fishes.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, but I didn't do it. So I'm just letting you know that he died.
But I didn't assume that you did.
Right.
Okay, so what does that mean for Falazure?
He's clear. That book that I handed the nice gnomish lady, that cleared Falazure. And it cleared the people of the inn, and it cleared everybody. Great. It cleared our whole party. Thank goodness I grabbed it out of his room.
Yeah.
But, that cleared everyone. So, but that's going to take some time. That ain't going to happen in a day, maybe. But, it's still probably around noonish, 11 o'clock. We could rest tonight here and then leave first thing in the morning. That's the best option we have. And we can go to Luskan. But I need to go speak with the lady of the manor, of the inn, of the guild. And I need to go speak with her and ask her if she has a contact in Luskan that we can hook up with when we get there.
Do you reckon Falazure would want to... Well, I'll have to wait until he wakes up because he's taking a nap. But do you reckon he'd want to speak to the War Baron's daughter and try and, work some things out? Or do you reckon he just want to leave? What do you think?
I think the best course of action would be we all need to leave. I don't think, and I think Mulek would agree, we don't need to stir up any more drama, that we've already cleared everything. So we should keep him as far away from the Water Baron at this time. And their daughter. So I think she's going to be punished enough when all this comes to light. So I think Falazure will feel good and be like, okay, problem resolved. Let's go.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I might be cool with that. So I'm thinking about making a giant harpoon, just in case we run into this big octopus thing. I think you're going to Kraken.
We shouldn't need that. Like you said, if we're stealthy enough, we get in it. I know you have your heart set on making a big harpoon.
I think it would be fun, honestly. Like, the idea of it is pretty cool. But I don't know where I'd put it. Like, it seems pretty cumbersome, I'm not going to lie to you.
Right. It would probably fit in a bag of holding, but I don't think we need to make that. That's just a little obsessive. There will be plenty of time in the future to where you can make as many weapons and shields and everything to your heart's content when we get back to where we need to go eventually when this settles down.
Honestly, I more miss the masonry than the smithing, but anything to keep my mind going is a welcome distraction.
Well, I have a perfect thing for you. When we're done traveling for a little bit, or if we get some downtime, or we ever get to go to Phandalin, where I'm from, we'll go meet my uncle. And I know there's probably some good stonework he needs done on the Thieves Guild for his manor. So I know that would probably make him happy. And he pays good coin. So that would probably be a good idea for you. And you can make a beautiful mosaic stonework. He'd probably pay out the yin-yang for that, to be honest with you. He's a little flamboyant, too, sometimes.
These hands were made for working stones, so that is a wonderful thought in my mind. Well, I'll have to give you that a serious consideration when we finally get a break from all this craziness.
Well, that's fine, because you're good company, Courtyard. I like having you around. It'd be great in the evenings to share a beer with you at my Thieves Guild tables. So it'd be wonderful.
I would enjoy that very much as well. Speaking of which, have you heard from, is it your father? You said, or your uncle?
He's my uncle. He raised me. My father was killed by the blue dragon. Or the dragon that came through, and it killed my father. And my uncle and his party ended up killing the dragon, and that head of that dragon is in the end at Phandalin, if you ever want to see it.
I might be very tempted to crush it with a hammer.
Dragon. Yeah,
White dragon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. White dragon.
It's been a while.
Oh, man.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's a white dragon. Last I remember, but it's sitting behind the bar, mounted behind the bar. They literally brought the head back with them, so it's a cool sight to see.
Oh, that is brilliant! I can't wait until I'm able to do that to the black dragon that killed my dad. And
well, maybe we'll find him.
And brother.
Well, maybe
and
we'll
sister.
find him. Right.
He's going to start listing things. Oh, shit.
Yeah, out of character. What,
oh, sorry. I was just going to say I am one level away from actually having teleport via plants, but...
Oh, that's a cool spell.
That would have been great for right now, but...
Nah, it's all right.
You create a portal in a tree and you can just walk anywhere you can.
Yeah.
Within the same plane, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we're about to take our
spell.
We're about to take our break. But just before we do, Thaldohr, it occurred to the mystic voice in the universe that Thaldohr has the Mastermind feat.
I do.
And there are several clues that Thaldohr has read and that Thaldohr has heard in messages and that have been mentioned by other people. And Thaldor's Mastermind finally clicks them all together. And we're going to find out what that is after our break. So,
yes.
That's very ominous.
I've been dropping hints all night.
Voice of the universe.
Yeah, just in there and just in his head automatically hears, "Hey, dummy, put it together."
You guys do this.
What?
Well, it's like I've given them these hints that they'll probably figure out something, and it's not the answer, but it's another answer than what you guys have considered so far. So we'll see if that answer makes sense to anybody when we get back. Viewers, I have the slate up. I've turned the music up, putting the clock on. We will be back in a few minutes to continue our session. Players, remember that you can stay here in this particular channel if you want to chat on stream, or you can go to the off-stream chat channel in Discord if you want to chat there. I will be back in a few minutes. I'm going to mute myself so they don't hear my microphone clatter when I put it down. Talk to you all later.
Okie doke. No, I'm reading through this journal. It's really crazy.
Yeah, he's a fucking nutter. I've played with this thing before, and he's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the hint is going to be to get back to the floating castle and float over there.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, the cloud castle, the cloud giant.
The cloud castle, like how where is that actually located, and how fast can it travel if it does?
500 miles from the rocks. We know that, don't we?
Well, it's 500 miles from the storm giant's place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't recall exactly where the floating castle is located, but maybe that was what the hint was that Galabon was giving us, right? He says,
probably. Yeah.
I wish I could fly you there. Oh, hint.
Wait, hint.
I will say, I've said, why don't we just fly this?
Right. Yeah. I was like, yeah, wait a minute. So Thaldor's like, what? Wait, we're not in the game yet, but it probably clicked. But how are we going to get ourselves back to the cloud castle?
The helm of teleportation. Can you get us back there?
We know where. Well, we know. We have to just know where it's like. We have to know of it to get there, correct?
Yeah. Like someone has to. The person wearing it has to be familiar with the area. So he was there, so we could get there. I just never thought about. I figured Mordenkainen would have said, "Come back." Or something, he would have made it obvious, and he didn't, and so I was like thinking, oh well. So maybe that's the option,
to go back to the cloud giants and have the dragon and the cloud giants take us there.
Yeah, have
specifically
that
the dragon. Yeah,
or the dragon. Yeah.
Oh, the dragon.
He did say he would give us a ride at one point, right?
Well,
the dragon can't take all of us, though.
No, I don't think he could.
But he can move the castle to take us where it needs to go.
Yeah, I just don't know how fast that thing can move and exactly where it's located, and whether that would be better than taking a ship. Obviously, it would be safer.
Much safer. We're high above the clouds. That, and you talking about ballistas, that castle has ballistas on it.
Well, and we got a freaking giant, or a dragon.
Right.
To protect us.
I wonder why I was talking about ballistas.
Oh, see, look.
I was trying to drop hints in my own subtle way, but obviously as a player just enjoying it, Krenraid doesn't know any of this shit, you know?
Right.
I'm not going to say it out loud.
I just thought it would be cool to go get on a ship and take a ship across, and it would give us time to do stuff, maybe, I don't know, versus just, hey, we got a floating castle. It's really easy. Just whoop, whoop.
I'll take the easy way out on that one, because here's the problem too, at a game, this would be us meta, if you think about it, that taking a ship with a creature that lives in the ocean and is that psychic or that powerful, not a good idea.
Well, it would be fun, though.
It would be fun, but especially the fact that it knows me to a degree. It doesn't. I don't know if it could see through my disguise or what, or true sight or whatever. But the thing is, if it was scrying, if it was just looking at him, it might not seen me. You know what I'm saying? Just depends on the situation. But at the same time, you think about it that way. It's like, we get on the water and it senses this person it's seen before. Yeah, that's a bad thing. But if we're hundreds of miles in the sky, it really can't come up out of the water and come into the sky. You know what I mean?
We know of.
That we know. I'd like to see a Kraken try.
I mean, it's a Kraken approaching the power of a god. So let's not underestimate what it is capable.
Yeah, we do not want to. Yeah, we definitely don't want to mess with a Kraken.
No.
But your idea is absolutely right. Being on the water with that thing is probably a very bad choice. But flip side of the coin, that may be where the module leads us.
See,
I'm not gonna say shit. You guys are gonna have to figure this out for yourselves.
Well, the sad thing is you can't, like, you have to limit yourself to what you can. Well, maybe that's why you're playing a dumb dwarf, but
it helps.
Yeah, it helps. Yeah, but like, it's just too bad you've played a lot of, like, all. I don't know if you probably played all of these modules already, so it's you kind of can't really add to the solution. You just kind of have to play dumb. But
which he's doing a great job of.
Oh, yeah. I've had lots of practice. No, you are correct. I have played all of the modules in stream or by myself in person, but it always remains very fun. Like, to me, like, discovering it in character for the first time is just as fun as it is. Well, not just as fun, but very close to as fun as it is discovering it in person. I still try and emphasize that state of awe and, surprise and everything else like that. But it does have that moment, in the back of your mind when you know what's coming. It's kind of like, okay, well, this is going to happen, but my character doesn't know this, so let's frickin' do it.
All right, I'm going to step away, guys, for a sec. I'll be back in a moment.
All right, Jim.
Release the Kraken!
We're really missing Ken tonight.
Yeah.
He's missing out on all the fun.
He's moving into a nice new apartment.
Yep. He might not have internet
with his life and
may not
getting away from the crappy ass Oklahoma place that he was at.
Yep.
It sounds like a very positive move for him, I must say.
Oh, it was. It also takes him back to where he got family, so.
I was going to say, he has family nearby, yeah.
Yeah, he's got family in Texas, so. Yeah,
so it's interesting. This whole module is interesting.
Oh, it's awesome. Storm King Thunder is actually one. People don't like it. This may shock you. A lot of people actually like Storm King's Thunder because it plays on a lot of tropes. It gets a bad rep, but honestly, I love it. I think it's great. But that being said, the module we're currently experiencing is Galley's wonderful take on it. So there are certain improvements he's very clearly made in his own additions. So that's pretty nice.
Well, it's some of the changes I've made are changes by design. Some of them are by happy accident, and some of them are completely generated by you guys, the players. Mm-hmm. It's just, the old thing. This is a collaborative story. Yes, somebody has given us plot points for the story, and one of the things I think that frustrates some people about Storm King's Thunder is there's no way you can do everything. It's such a sprawling module or sprawling adventure that could take you to literally hundreds of different places, and you'll never go there, but they're all detailed. And so there are people that are like, it should let me go to these places because it's there. Well, no, it doesn't necessarily have to. And
kind of like a choose your own adventure type thing.
Yeah. And there's definitely many different paths to go through based on what you choose to do. Now, of course, there's an optimal path that takes you through level by level, but when have D&D parties always made the optimal choices? So some of the other changes that I've made are based on the fact that I'm weaving my own story line together, and that in some way, whether it's apparent at the time we're playing through it or not, I have to pick sections of each of these campaigns that will serve my overarching story. And that's why we dip in for a little bit at the point we dip in, and then why we dip out at the point we dip out, is because it all helps to build, and hopefully over time you see this tapestry of how all these things are working.
I feel it in my soul.
You weave one hell of a tapestry, Gallivant.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, Ken.
Hey, you.
Falazure has arrived.
Welcome, Falazure. Glad you were able to make it. You get everything moved in that you wanted to get moved in tonight?
Yeah.
Good. Well, that was the important thing, is getting that done. And you made it just at the end of our break. So, who wants to recap for Ken what we did in the first half, and before I reveal what Thaldohr put together, because when you all tell him what happened, he may be able to figure it out too. So go ahead, somebody.
Well, you got 2,000 gold back.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, you got your money back.
Yeah. Oh, so add 2,000 gold back to your.
So we had a little bit of a retcon. So, I had Lord Drylund's journal. Remember, I got that. I told you that I got that off the boat. So I read through it and told everybody in the room what was going on, that this guy was nuts. He wanted to sacrifice the Water Baron's child to a deity-esque kraken named Slarkathrel, and wanted to take over Yartar. And then he was in cahoots with the Black Network, and he knew of the guy that Josiah, the guy that we handed over to the Thieves Guild. He knew that Josiah was the father of the baby. And he was the one that knew that was sending it was all written down in his journal that he was sending the Storm King there, trying to, the Kraken trying to become a god. And we were discussing plans on how to get to the purple I've got it right here. The purple
rocks.
Purple rocks. Yeah, it's purple rocks, and we were discussing and planning on how to get to the purple rocks because that is where it's heading. Because the boat left from Luskin to head that way, which was the Morkoth. Yep, he will rendezvous with the Morkoth. Yep, that was it. Yep. So we believe the Storm King's been taken to the Purple Rocks, and we were just trying to figure out a way to get there.
Okay. We could try to teleport.
Yeah, you're clear. Like you're completely cleared. You got your money back, and everything's good on that end. So you can come out of your Deckard disguise
if you want to.
If you want to, while we're in here, because you're safe.
No, I'm Deckard Kate for the rest of the campaign.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Oh. The disguise kit was actually cursed. You are now Deckard Kane.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
I still have disadvantage on a stealth checks.
Right.
Because of my rickety bones.
But no, that's the gist of what I know to catch you up on, unless Mulek's got more.
Okay. So what happened? So that happened, and then what did y'all do?
So we just chilled at the pub. Yeah, we chilled at the Thieves Guild Inn for a long time.
And the dwarf decided to go downstairs to the bathtubs and enjoy learning how the water breathing spell affects him.
Okay.
So he's
I held my head under the water for a long time, shadow boxed
under the water for a while, and
laughed under the water. Played with imaginary fish. It's been great. I had a great time.
I would say that Falazure would have probably taken off his disguise and everything and given needed materials back to Thaldohr.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you guys tell him that he died? That Falazure died, but we brought him back to life.
Yeah. I had to.
You said that with such a straight voice. I'm impressed.
I had to use my spell slot for revivify on that one.
Yeah,
and all our diamonds. Oh no.
Yeah, Ken.
He lived.
There was that secret door, and Mulek could see that there was an arcane trap on it. And everybody said, "Well, yeah, of course, Falazure would want to be the one that tries to open it." So we all said, "Yeah, sure, okay." So Falazure tried to open it. Explosive runes went off. It was enough to kill him.
I think.
Fortunately, Dez was there with Revivify.
Yeah, I'm not buying that. I think the only things that can really kill Falazure is a deity itself, a woman, or poison.
Well,
maybe all three
of the woman's vice there. Yeah.
Phyrexia, the god of poison in Pharos, would be all three. She ticks all those boxes. So she's your mortal enemy. Got it.
All right. So
okay. So
go ahead.
You just got done with the break then?
Yeah, we just got done with the break. Literally, we were finishing up with that
very
as you walked
quickly, just so you were made aware of it as Falazure. Gally asked if you wanted to do anything during the day because it's currently daytime. And Krenraid wondered, and he asked Michael whether you would want to go see not now, but a bit later before we head out, whether you'd want to go see the Water Baron's daughter, who the alleged mother of your child, or whether you would just want to leave. So what was your take on that as Falazure?
I don't know. Let's take a group vote. Yay for me going to... No, I was kidding.
I think most of us want to get the hell out of here, but I don't know what you want to do as Falazure.
Dez still wants to go see the Water Baron's husband as a bear.
I'm okay. I think if the story worked out the way it did, then there's no need for me to... He wouldn't want to talk to her anyway if she was trying to be that way. Yeah.
I was curious if you wanted to give her the lip before you left. I wasn't sure what Falazure would want to do.
Falazure would think she's not even worth it.
Very good.
Right.
He values loyalty.
Yeah, and it is clear she was a schemer in her own right. Okay. there were a couple of messages sent and received, and there were some details in the journal and in those messages, and even a couple of you briefly mentioned some things about it. But in all of the thoughts that they've had of how to get to the Purple Rocks, there is one option that you as a party know about that you had not yet considered. And that is that you have two allies. You have an ally who is named Count Thullen, who is a cloud giant, and an ally who is a bronze dragon named what the hell is his name again? As
Krenraid would say, shiny scale.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good thing we've got to have all those ballistas, right, guys? And we're going to fly it.
Felgolos. Felgolos is the
Lord
name of the bronze dragon, and they currently are in possession of a flying castle. You guys have talked about a potential platform for fighting. Flying castle has all kinds of ballistas and everything on it. So you could reach out to them and see, if they
can you
have
remind
any
us?
notion.
Can you remind us where exactly that is located in relation to the Sword Coast?
They talked about taking it inland. So it's going to be east of where you are, and or no, where you guys are. It could be slightly east or maybe west, but it's probably going to be a bit north of where you are.
And can you
sorry,
then did they tell us, or did we ever find out how fast that thing travels?
It travels D&D speed, which means that it travels about the speed of an actual cloud. Now, in D&D terms, an actual cloud is pretty slow. I tend to be a little bit more in favor of using real world physics when it comes to things like that. And James, as a pilot, that clouds, depending on what level they're at, they can move along pretty quickly. Yeah,
I was gonna say, and you got a druid that can cast wind wall, and
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it probably no matter whether you go to the coast and hire a ship or whether you go inland and get a flying castle, it's probably going to be about the same amount of travel time for either of those modes of transportation.
But one's safer than the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, one is going to put you on the water where there is a gigantic, ancient, powerful being with delusions of godhood, and the other is going to put you in the air with at least a dragon and a cloud giant as allies.
So it's basically like we're all little kids and we just saw Jaws for the first time, and we don't want to go anywhere near the water.
Right.
Very much so,
Thaldohr.
yes.
Well, to be honest with you, in character. So Thaldohr would be looking over at Mulek after he puts 2 and 2 together and says, "You know what, Mulek? We might need to reach out to Lord Felgolos, our dragon companion, to see if we could hitch a ride on their cloud castle to get to the Purple Rocks."
That's a good idea, Mr. Mastermind.
Exactly.
That's very smart.
Scared shitless to be on the water. Just to be honest with you, I know we were talking about taking a ship, but after sitting here and contemplating and smoking my pipe for quite a while with Dez, I realized that would be a bad idea if that thing saw me. It could probably trace me on the water. But up in the clouds, that's a gamble.
Well, do you want me to send a message, or do you want to just travel there and then we can have the discussion in person? Because I'd hate to send a message and then have them say, "Sorry, we're busy, don't show up."
Yeah, but that would be rude to show up uninvited. But didn't they tell us we could come back anytime?
I think so. I think if we we're not gonna. If we go there, we're not gonna appear in their private quarters, right? I mean,
well, the goat's there too. Yeah, wait a minute.
Sangzor is there.
Sangzor's there.
Falazure will speak up, and be like, "Well, we got this damn helm of teleportation."
Exactly.
Why don't we just leave and just take our rest there tonight on the Cloud Castle?
How about we take a chance on getting to the Purple Rocks?
How about I love you, but you're crazy?
I mean, live a little, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I want to live a little, but that's just taking it one step too far, Falazure.
Oh, how soon can you use? So let's say we do that and we appear above a volcano. How fast can you get us away from there to somewhere safe?
Pretty instantaneously, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Got out of character?
Yeah.
There's two things that I need to look up.
Like, how often can you use this thing? It takes an action.
3 charges per day, I believe.
Yeah.
So I have to look at two things. One is the item. The other is the spell that the item uses. Okay, so 3 charges. Use an action and expend 1 charge to cast the teleport spell. So you can teleport, and then 6 seconds later in the next round you can teleport again. Now, depending on where you wind up when you teleport, 6 seconds might be all the time in the world, or 6 seconds might be, that might be too long to save your life. Let's see.
And 3d10 force damage.
And 3d10 force damage, right? Okay.
From what?
Full damage.
A mishap. A mishap. Just a general mishap. If it's a mishap, all of us could take 3d10 force damage.
Let me read the item.
Oh, from the teleport spell. Yes, of course, you're right.
Yeah, you need to actually read the spell to figure out what the danger is, not the item.
Yeah.
The item's not going to tell you.
I like the idea of using the helm to get to the castle. I think that would save a lot of our trip if we know where it is.
Yeah, it actually says if you were this is an example in the description. If you were teleporting to a coastal city and wound up 18 miles out to sea, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
Right in front of a kraken, which we could eat it. I do not want to see Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Here we go.
Yeah, and the castle's pretty big with nice flying all around.
Yeah.
Come on, 3d10 force damage is not that big of a deal. Come on.
It's not the force damage.
It's not that we're worried about.
Yeah,
I think
it's that's like it added horribleness to what it could be. So
we could end up in the middle of the water.
Well, remember that the mishap is in addition to whatever else happens. Yes. So it's not just mishap and you don't go anywhere and you take 3d10 force damage. It's mishap, you take 3d10 force damage and you might be wildly off target as well. So, it's not a one or the other. It's the mishap is do this and then roll again and ignore this same result and whatever else it is happens.
So how do we determine what the mishap is if we do it?
You don't determine it.
No, you roll, but there's a chart that says
No.
Oh.
You don't determine what the mishap is. I roll and determine whether there's a mishap or not. You have no say over what the mishap might be.
Well, how do you determine how does your roll exactly determine the mishap is what I'm asking. from a like functioning?
Okay, it's a D100 roll, and it's based on your familiarity. And the only
we would be going based on a we would be going on a description only, and so
and that's even a really even a really vague description.
What if
you have about a 25% chance of getting where you want to go?
Okay, what if out of character? What if I attempted it, landed and if it was successful? Or if it's not successful, I try to teleport back to where we're at right now, right? But let's say I do get successful, and then I have spells that keep me from going splat or whatever. So, and then if I come back, I'll be familiar with the area, and then I can safely get us there.
Okay, so OC, we know that the King Hecaton is on a ship called the Morkoth. We don't know exactly where that ship is, just that it's heading towards the Purple Rocks. So even if we got to the Purple Rocks, we'd still need some form of transportation with the speed capable of catching a ship. Now, obviously, we could walk on water and sprint. Some of us can transform into various beasts, so there are ways around that. But the easiest solution is just to have a vehicle of our own. Or,
Where are we getting a vehicle then?
The Flying Castle.
How fast does it move?
That's what we're trying to determine.
Basically, as fast as a ship, or even faster, because a ship is, blown by the wind.
Drag,
so, and it has drag of the ocean. A wind, doesn't have the drag, so it's going.
Plus, we have a druid that can cast.
Go as fast or faster than a ship. So that's my vote.
Okay.
I vote.
I love having a pilot with us for this particular problem. Thank you, Mulek. Thank you.
I'm just a bard trying to live a little, but I'll go with the group's decision.
Yeah, no, we seriously considered just teleporting straight there. Like, don't worry, we had the discussion.
I'm just saying I could do it first. That way, I can negate the damage that would happen. And then if it was successful, then I could teleport back. And
but the catch is not just here. Yeah, but the catch is what Gally was trying to say. OC out of character. What Gally was trying to say was, that's fine. Falazure could teleport or try to teleport there, and you only have a 25% chance. So if you get there, that's cool. You're familiar. You see the area. Hey, I'm here. You teleport back here, and then we all can leave the next day because that would be your third charge. To get back.
No, it'd been my second.
Second? Oh, that's right. We only used it to get here once and spend more in a day. Okay, be your second. Then we could, use the third charge and go there. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. But like he said, damage aside, if you were to you could teleport halfway around the world.
Yeah.
And not know where you're at, and then you could teleport back here, and then we would have to go with our cloud option.
Right.
I mean, if Falazure wants to try that, and he can get back within, it's 6 seconds. So if he can do that's fine. If you want to try, so I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, I'm just throwing out options there. That's all.
The other problem, though, and this is also out of character, is if you get there and you get there successfully, right? You've got to come back to get us, but you've still only viewed it once. It's still only a 43% chance we're going to get there successfully.
I have. Well, no. What's better? Let's see.
Or 43% chance that we will not. Yeah, we won't get there because you will have only viewed it once.
I could walk around for a minute and see it casually. Right? What's the criteria for seeing casually?
Well, it's in the middle of the ocean, and we don't really know what purple rocks really refers to. They might be just jagged rocks standing out the side, or they might be, like a plateau. We don't really know. So you might be able to walk around. If someone casts water walking on you, definitely could.
Yeah. Okay. Seeing casually is someplace you have been more than once, but with which you are not very familiar. So you cannot say, "Oh, I walk around for 5 minutes and now I've seen it casually." That would still count as viewed once.
Roger.
Got it. Well, still, I mean, it's 44%. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
No. Look at the headings.
That it's a mishap.
The last column is the success column. The first 3 columns are bad. You don't wind up where you want to go. So don't think of it with anything that you're thinking about right now. There's a 73% chance, even if you go once and come back and you're successful the first time,
okay,
there's still a 73% chance you'll screw up the second time.
All right.
So that's the way. That's the way you have to. That's the way you have to read the chart. And I'm only explaining that because it sounds like you guys, at least some of you, are misreading the chart and aren't understanding what it means. So, all right, that's now as players and as PCs, you are more than welcome to allow Falazure to make his attempt if you guys think that's what the characters would do. If Falazure thinks that's what he would do, he could maybe even wait until everybody else goes to sleep and says, "Oh, okay, I'm going to try this," and go and try it, and none of the other characters would know that happened, presuming he gets back safely.
True.
But that there's. I'm not telling you can't do it. I just want you to clearly understand the risks of the way it's written on the table.
I think we're probably feeling out towards this Dungeons Castle right now. Is the general consensus, I believe.
All right. If nobody's brave enough to try it with me, I won't do it. So let's go to the castle.
Okay.
Let's go to the castle.
Yeah, because the castle, you guys are very familiar with the castle.
Yeah, Mulek would never do that. He just rolled a 28 Arcana check. I would never risk my...
So, I was listening.
Mm-hmm. What spells take?
I was not here, though. But from what I take of it, Belle would go against trying to take the chance to teleport to the shiny purple
rocks.
Yeah, the purple rocks. And she'll kind of like smack him with a pillow saying, "You weren't taking the chance. No, who's gonna feed me jerky? You think the Thaldohr and them's gonna supply me the jerky? Who's going to be my song buddy? And what if you land up in the water and the shark gets you? It's not okay. I think if you were to use the helm of whatever you call the, I think you should do it to, like, teleport us to the giant place.
All right, so what I'm hearing, Belle, is
water.
You don't want to. You don't want to go with me.
I don't want to be in the water.
Belle does bring up a good point, though. If so there's a chance this thing might not put us where we wanted to put us, right? Okay, that I get, and we are quite familiar with the Storm Castle, so hopefully that helps a bit. But what if it doesn't put us in the castle, but like a cloud over, and we just start free falling? Does anyone have an idea of how we stop that? Because I can't fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Use the helm of teleportation again, because if you're up at altitude, you're going to have several rounds of free fall before you. And the free fall is never the problem. It's the abrupt stop when you hit the ground that's the problem. So
yeah, I was mainly asking for Krenraid's clarification.
Yeah, he was in character. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking we were only at the Cloud Castle one time too.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well.
There for a few nights.
You spent several days there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's the way that works.
Isn't there a permanent circle there too? Or no?
No, the permanent circle is at the Storm Giant place.
Well, Falazure speaks up. He's like, "Well, are we ready to go?"
Yeah. we can go now and rest there tonight.
Yeah,
we
let's
probably
do
need
that.
to go to Mastermind first.
I can do my studying up there.
All right. Well,
It'd be nice to see those kids again, the little scamps.
Everybody hold hands. I guess we all get our stuff together. And, right? Hold hands.
Yep, IG's going to be in there in the circle with us.
Yeah, obviously we need to go get them, don't we? Around there somewhere.
Yeah,
I will turn to Thaldohr and say, "You think your little gnome friend will be upset if I steal this blanket? It's
Probably
quite warm
not.
and quite fuzzy."
Just take the blanket.
Oh yeah, shouldn't we leave a note or something?
No. That she said to leave when we need to.
Right.
Okay, so all right, so
Yeah, I
we're
guess I'll
going
I'll let
to
I'll let you describe what happens when we're all
Lynn
in a circle.
Armaal. Okay, all right. Dez winds up somewhere else from the rest of no.
Oh no!
Falazure starts
She's
singing.
at band camp.
Starts singing "Ring of Fire" for the teleportation scroll.
Right.
We end up in the abyss, full of hell. Yeah.
Falling.
There you go.
Infernals are everywhere.
Little Tom Petty.
Okay. All right. So, Falazure waits for everybody to get into the circle, and he thinks about the courtyard of Lynn Armaal, the cloud giant castle that you guys have been to, where you spent a couple of days with your friends, the cloud giant and the bronze dragon. And there's kind of a shimmering, the world sort of shimmers around you, and you see the walls of the inn sort of dissolve into particles of insubstantial being, and you feel a brisk breeze on you, a breeze that could be born of the mountains, and the room or the area around you gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and you find yourselves in the midday sun.
Are you gonna roll?
He already
did.
did.
I already did roll.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh.
Yeah, it's not a
right.
roll. It's not a roll that you guys. It's not a roll,
Aw.
guys, that you guys get to see.
We
deal with the
heard it.
consequences.
Yeah.
And you wind up in the courtyard of the castle.
Thaldohr gets down on his knees and starts kissing the ground.
Never doubted it. Well done, Falazure.
And at the moment, the dragon is not there, and the giant is not there.
Can Falazure take a trip to the Purple Rocks?
Uh-oh.
To
No.
attempt.
You only get one more teleport for the day.
No, I get 2.
Yeah, you use one.
Yeah, we
When they
only
get
did
here.
one.
Yeah, so he has 2 more.
Oh, he has 2 more. Okay, yeah. I was counting wrong. My bad.
Does
Alright,
Falazure want to see a map first?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll improve my odds, but I guess.
No, but you might have a better idea where to land. Just a OOC suggestion. Ignore
He
me.
wants to do it.
Yeah, go for it. Fucking guess
Go
some.
for it.
Okay, so
He's like, all right, group. I want to go take a peek at what these purple rocks look like, or at least try. I'll be back in 12 seconds.
We hope.
hope.
You better come back.
okay.
Belle will kind of like look at Falazure and like narrow her eyes and said, "No."
Does he give us fair warning, or does he just immediately?
No, I'm gonna give. I look at Mulek and say, I and you guys, and I'm like, I want to try it.
I can't persuade you to stay.
No, but if you have any magic, that might help me.
Don't be an idiot. And I cast Fortune's Favor on him.
She'll kind of scuff her tongue, and she'll like take the belt that's on her neck and unhook it and put it in his hands and said, "Yeah, what he said. Don't be an idiot." She'll also cast Bardic Inspiration.
He immediately starts casting Teleportation then.
Okay, now keep in mind, Fortune's Favor helps you with a D20 roll. Doesn't help you with a D100 roll.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
I might need it.
Yeah, you might need it. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And Mulek fully understands that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I hate not being able to see the roll though. It's so much fun to see the. All right, go ahead, Gally.
I kind of like the suspense. You gotta deal with what happens.
Here we go.
So,
I have to get a. What do I gotta get? Let's see.
Okay. So, well, the first thing that happens.
26.
There are at least 2 effects that happen, and the first effect that happens is that Falazure, you suffer 25 points of force damage.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. I take it.
And
It fucking
hurts. Yeah, it does hurt. And then I need to roll again. And let's see what happens then. Goodness. Okay.
Wheel of Fortune with Falazure. Let's find where he goes.
All right. As the swirling eddy of particles goes around you, you feel a racking pain in your body, Falazure, and you are being taken somewhere because where it has been bitterly cold and it feels like a brisk mountainous area, you now feel heat, and it is a sweltering heat, and you find yourself on a rocky piece of ground, and there's a crashing thunder of waves nearby. The sky is relatively clear, but it is hot here and very humid. And you look and you can see that you are on an island that is in some kind of a large bay or something like that, because they're looking out one direction, you can see a wide channel that leads to the open sea, and then all the rest of the way around there is land, and the land is full of from what you can see, it looks like it's mostly jungle that comes down to the edge of the water, and you see there's a shimmering haze that's over a city over that way, and there's a port, and then there is a noise that you hear off to your left, and it's a noise from the water, and you turn and you look, and you see this enormous head come up out of the water, and the head is poking out from under the most gigantic shell you have ever seen. And as you are looking at it and kind of curiously looking, this head, it doesn't exactly look like a turtle, and it doesn't exactly look like a dragon, but it looks like close to the size of the biggest dragon you've ever seen. And it looks, and there's like an intelligence in its eyes, and its pupil just does this thing where it gets really narrow and it's focused exactly on you, and it begins to inhale. What do you do?
Wait, okay, so let's backtrack. I'm not on solid ground?
No, you're on a rocky island.
Okay. And this, how big is this? I mean, I'm guessing it's this. He's just got his first glimpse of a legendary sea dragon, or a turtle. What are they called?
The biggest dragon as you've ever seen is what he said.
So yeah, you are looking into the eye of a creature that has a head the size of an ancient dragon, and that head is poking out on a wet leathery neck underneath a gigantic shell.
Based on history books or something, can I make a roll to figure out what it is?
Based on the fact that you are a lore bard, you don't need to roll. Okay. This is a classic description of a dragon turtle.
Wow. And it's like, how big is big?
Find me a photo of this.
The shell is probably, well, based on what you can see of the shell, you can't see the whole shell. You would guess the shell is somewhere between 40 and 60 feet long, and probably that wide. So this thing could easily swallow probably a hill giant whole. That's the size of the creature you're looking at.
So do I have any idea where I'm at in the world at all? Like
someplace warm, someplace where there's jungle. But that's not important right now. The important thing is that there is a dragon turtle, and it is inhaling, and it's looking in your direction. What do you want to do?
I want to teleport. I want to look around. Do I see anything else in those moments where?
Okay. You're taking time to look around.
No.
I need to roll.
I'm going to teleport
an attack.
Oh,
well,
God.
Okay. Are you going to look around?
No. I thought in the initial,
then you teleport back, and let's see. You're trying to go back to the Cloud Giant Castle?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I need to roll the dice one more time.
I guess he was trying to ask, if how you do that first initial.
Yeah, it was more like look, just what do I see in those moments? Yeah.
What's that perception of that?
I already told you what you saw.
That's true. That's true.
So, all right. That's actually what you guys put. Krenraid, what you put in the Roll20 chat is a very good representation. So, yes, you wind up Falazure back in the Storm Giant's castle, and the rest of you see that when Falazure comes back, he has sort of this autonomic, involuntary reaction where his eyes are just really wide, and he's like, "Ooh," and then,
so he's back?
Yeah, yep. He's back.
Thank God. Krenraid hugs you.
He hugs you back.
You look like
yeah. Don't do that again.
Well, I ended up on an island, real rocky, but it was like a sweltering heat, and it was real tropical. But I just came in, it was crazy. The biggest. Well, I've never seen one before, but this thing was gargantuan. Out of character, I guess it was gargantuan.
Yeah.
I saw this gargantuan dragon turtle. I mean, his eye was like right in front of me. That's how close he was. I could see right into his pupil. I didn't stick around. I just got the hell back here.
That sounds marvelous.
That sounds crazy, but
I did notice a city in the distance. I'm not sure. Thinking back on it, do I recognize it at all? Based on any landmarks or anything?
Okay, now that you're back and you have time to think, now go ahead and roll a history check. And I'm not going to give you disadvantage because you're a pretty keen observer, so you can remember the details of what you saw.
And you have Fortune's favor.
And
you have Fortune's favor, yes.
Bardic inspiration.
Yeah, I'm going to use that Bardic because it's going to go away real quick. It's a D8 still, right?
Level 10.
I think it's a D8.
Okay, so 24. Yeah, that, thinking back on it, you remember hearing stories about a place far to the south of Neverwinter and far to the south of Baldur's Gate and even far south of the lands where you grew up, a place called Chult, where there are lots of jungles, and rumors say that there are gargantuan creatures that live on the land and in the water. And one of those gargantuan creatures is supposed to be a dragon turtle. And that dragon turtle apparently, so the legends and the stories say, exacts a toll from every ship that tries to enter or leave that harbor. And if they fail to pay a sufficient amount of a tribute to the dragon turtle, it will destroy the ship and kill all the sailors. So that's putting all of that together. It's like, yeah, I might have been in Chult, and that city would probably be Port Nyanzaru if that was the case.
He waits a moment and he's like, I think I went to Chult and wasn't too far from Port Nyanzaru, if I'm not mistaken. Based on some books that I looked at once.
I'd imagine that's way far away from where we're trying to get to.
Well, it's definitely south of us, pretty far ways.
Yeah, basically he went south instead of going west. Is basically what happened.
Ouch. Well, you had an adventure. That was a quick adventure, wasn't it?
But yeah, it sure was. But you know what? This helm, if I don't use it every day, I could just use it just to see what happens, and then maybe I can learn us new destinations, and then I'll get to the point where I can get us there safely.
Well, have you ever heard of the phrase "curiosity killed the bell"?
The cow.
Well, kind of like perk because she was about to say something like, curiosity killed the cat, like what she normally says, but then she's like, killed me. Well, I mean, I guess this dress is gonna kill me one way or another if he passes away. But
about this point in time, Dez tries something and basically flips a pretty ribbon at her. Like, here, look, pretty ribbon.
She wouldn't be looking at that because she would be too busy trying to look Falazure up and down to see if he's hurt or not. But I would know if it's a mishap, what happened. She would know that he would have taken a little bit of damage, right?
His nose bleeding a little bit, yeah. He's got some blood trickling out of his nostril.
Yeah.
So she'll kind of look at him. She'll kind of slap him across the face.
Gosh.
But then she'll kind of like herself all still balled up in the blanket. She'll cure wounds him at 4th level.
Okay, so you can go ahead and roll.
My cat's attacking my arm, which needs to stop.
Hey, healed
20,
me.
26. Yeah, so he's back to full. All right.
Thank you, Bale. I say as I put my hand in between on her head and rub in between her ears.
After I've realized that
Shall we
Falazure is fine, I start making my way towards the throne room, knowing that's probably where Lord Felgolos is.
Come on, let's get settled in.
And as you guys are actually, as Belle is doing the healing, you all hear large, heavy footsteps coming down one of the ramps, coming in, and as that happens, the form of Count Thullen appears on the stairs, and he looks and he says, "Whoa, friends, you're back. Welcome back to Armaal. How are you?"
Good to see you, big guy. Pretty good.
Sangzor.
Oh, the last we saw him, Sangzor was enjoying the mountains. You see, we are now in the clouds on the shoulders of the mountains where Felgolos has one of his lairs. We are, how would you say, anchored on the ground at the moment. We can fly at any time, but we are just here. We let Sangzor go a few days ago, and
That's good. That's good.
He spent most of the first day near the castle, but then the second day, he seemed to perk his ears up and go into the mountains, and so Felgolos flew around and said that there is a small group of giant goats that live up that way. So I think he has found more of his own kin.
Good to hear.
Yes. So what brings you back to Armaal? Oh, and come with me to the throne room. Lord Felgolos will be happy to see you. Come. And the ogres will be happy to cook dinner for you.
I was about to say I'm really looking forward to eating their food again. It's real good.
I was honestly surprised that they could cook so well for being ogres. I thought they'd be pretty bad at it.
Practice makes perfect, even for the dumbest of creatures.
I guess you're right.
I'm speaking from experience, because obviously I'm very smart.
Yeah, but Falazure wouldn't tell you that.
Okay, and so as you all walk in, just let me know if anybody has any trouble moving their token. So as you guys come into the throne room over here, Felgolos is lounging sort of over the throne, and as Count Thullen walks in, Felgolos first looks up and then he looks at you, and you can almost see like a little smile at the corner of his draconic mouth, and he says, "Welcome, friends, welcome. You are back very soon. It is good to see you again. How are you?"
So Thaldohr bows, and
Dez does too.
You hear rumblings and grumblings come out of Thaldohr's mouth as he speaks Draconic, and he says, "Lord Felgolos, pleasure seeing you again. Thank you for your hospitality last time, and we wish to ask of your hospitality this time."
Oh, well, of course, you have earned the right of guests here. I believe both Count Thullen and I are in accord on this. Are we not? And the Count says, yes, we are. And Felgolos says, well, what have you been up to? Tell me of your adventures. And Count Thullen's going to walk over here. And you can see that there's another chair that is not quite as ornate as the throne, but it is only slightly less ornate, and it is sized for the giant. And the giant sits down and sort of crosses one leg over the other. And sort of that figure 4 type of thing where he puts his ankle up on his thigh, and he starts to dig out a giant-sized pipe. And
Seriously.
So he sits there, and as the dragon and the giant eagerly await your report.
Part of Krenraid is very happy they managed to share power equitably. Obviously, he doesn't know what that word means, but he's glad they're still, showing some compassion towards each other inside. But he's not going to say anything, of course.
Thaldohr's impressed that it worked out.
And they look expectantly at you, wanting to know about your travels.
Okay, so Thaldohr starts letting them in on, and he probably pulls Mulek over. Says, Mulek, help me out here. And we start explaining the situation that we're in, what we've been up to in Yartar, since we got the conch and we realized that King Hecatar was taken, and we're trying to solve that situation, and we need their help.
And how much do you tell them, if anything? Well, actually, we'll do it this way. So King Hecaton is imprisoned on a ship, you say, and that ship is somewhere out in the trackless sea. And Felgolos says, I'm not sure that I've ever been out that way. And Count Thullen says, the Countess in her map rooms, she has many maps from all across the world of Toril. Not just the Forgotten Realms, but other areas as well. Not just Faerun, but many other areas. We can check and see if she has charts that lead us out there. But we certainly know the approximate area where Maelstrom is located. And you say you have been there and you are able to contact the king's daughter?
I look over at Mulek.
Yes.
Ooh, good. Well, that would be a waypoint at least. We can head in that direction, and then we can better determine how to get to these purple rocks from there. And
500 miles from Maelstrom.
And Count Thullen says, I do not much like this shattering of the ordning. I think that while my sister was mad with power, and she believed that the cloud giants should rightfully be at the top of the ordning, I think there is a reason that in all of his wisdom, back in the forming of the world, the Allfather Anam created an order for the giants that was according to his will. And while we don't hear much from Anam, I see how much chaos and destruction has happened since the ordning has shattered. Look at what happened to my wife because of it. Or, not my wife. Look at what happened to my sister because of it. It's terrible. And now my niece and nephew are left orphans in my care. That is not what should happen to children their age. They should grow up with their parents. I would like to help restore this ordning if I can. And Felgolos says, so what do you know of the people that have kidnapped this king? What sort of folk are they?
Have you ever heard of the Order of the Kraken? Or the Kraken Society? Is that what it is?
It's called the Kraken Society. And he says, oh, the Kraken Society. The Kraken Society. And when he says that, he looks at Count Thullen, and Count Thullen looks back at him, and they both have kind of a grim expression on their face. And the dragon says, we Bronze, we like to read lore. We like to learn stories. I have heard about this Kraken Society. They purport to worship some ancient demigod or something like that.
Well, the stories are true on that.
It's a giant fish.
That's putting it lightly.
Technically, the dragon says, technically, I believe it's actually more like a giant squid.
Hey, Bell is a squid, not a fish.
But no.
That was gone. Never mind. Yeah, carry on.
And so then if Krenraid says that, Felgolos will sort of tap his claws on the arm of the throne, and he sort of looks up into the air, and he says, well, it swims, it has gills, it breathes underwater. It is definitely a waterborne creature. However, a fish actually has a bony skeleton, and its morphology means that it's got fins, and its locomotion is by the movement of its tail fin, and it then controls the direction it goes by its fins that are along the side and the upper and lower portions of its body. A squid does not have a skeleton. So, in a very technical sense, no, it's not a fish.
I did not understand half of those words, but that sounded very interesting and very smart. So I'm going to think that's very clever. But what I will say is that, okay, if it doesn't have any bones, right, because it's a squid, wouldn't a giant one be all kind of like wibbly wobbly in the ocean, right?
Timey-wimey.
And the this time Count Thullen, he shakes his head. He says, "No, friend Krenraid. They have very powerful muscles, and the muscles help them keep the shape."
Oh, they work out a lot. Okay.
Thaldohr's just shaking his head, putting his palm to his face.
And yeah.
Dez is just
Thullen
sitting behind him
that.
going, just not yet. Just not yet.
he looks at and kind of he can't help but a little grin when he sees the
face
Dez.
palm and Dez going.
And he says, yes, Krenraid. He works out a lot.
Yeah, I respect that. He must be a very tough combatant. Hopefully we don't have to fight him. But what would be lovely is if we could take this giant floating castle, because it has so many, ways of looking down towards the sea. It might be a good way of spotting the boat. Like, I'm assuming you guys have, like, what are those things called, where you look for them and things get
spyglass?
And
what are those things?
Yeah, and Count Thullen says we have an array of spyglasses.
Oh, it'd be really easy to find a boat then.
Oh, well, they do have a limited range, only about 20 or 25 miles. And the ocean is a vast place, but it would definitely help us get closer.
Thaldohr would tell them what port they were leaving out of, which was what was
Luskan.
the city? What? Yeah, Luskan. So they left out of the port of Luskan and we're heading west towards the purple.
Yeah. And so they will allow us they start thinking that the first thing to do is to consult the charts, see if they have a chart of that area. Second thing is to get provisions that they need for the journey, and that sounds more like Felgolos going and inspecting his hoard and seeing if he has anything useful other than what's already on the castle, because the castle is very well provisioned in terms of food and everything like that.
Before we get out of the room, there's something that Kramer wanted to point out.
Sure, go ahead.
He does remember. He wants to point out that Imryth, the blue dragon that was disguised as one of the princess's council, got away and had something to do with the kidnapping, so she may be around, and to make them aware that a kraken may not be our only problem. And does this bronze dragon know anything about Imryth?
And when you mentioned that name, it's like the crest and frills on the dragon's spine just stand up, and sort of these little you
do know him.
Fins, these fins sort of pop out from the side of its cheeks, and it just lets out a low guttural growl and says, "Imryth, the tyrant of the desert. Oh, that one is an ancient evil, an ancient worm." And then he looks over at Count Thullen, and he says, "I know some trustworthy metallics that would love the opportunity to tangle with Imryth. Count, would you be comfortable with more dragons in the castle?" And Count Thullen says, "No, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of this Imryth." And so Felgolos will then briefly tell a little bit about the briefly tell about Imryth. And she is a blue dragon that hails from the desert regions. and is said to have taken as her lair one of the ancient fallen cities of the great, oh gosh, what is it? Netherese Empire? The empire that made all of the floating cities way back in the day, in the dawns of time, and that is supposedly somewhere out in the great desert. And that is where her principal lair is. But she is known to inject herself in the affairs of other races to try to cause chaos and sow dissension. And it doesn't surprise Felgolos at all that a creature like Imryth would be involved in a plot to kidnap King Hecaton, although he's a little bit surprised why she just didn't want to kill him outright. That's so he's a bit puzzled by that. But then, when he says all of that, then King or the Count says, "Okay, no, I did not study much about dragons, but if I recall correctly, the dragons with colors are evil, and they are opposed to the dragons like you that are metallic." And Felgolos nods and says, "Yes, that's correct. And you propose to bring other metallic dragons to the castle." And he says, and Felgolos says, "Yes, and think about this. If we, as a group of dragons and a giant working together, we rescue the king of the storm giants, what will that do for the alliance that you and I are beginning to forge?" And then there's like a light bulb that goes off in Count Thullen's eyes, and he says, "Yes, that might start something wonderful." And the dragon nods and says, "So by your leave, once we begin heading towards Maelstrom, I will take flight and go find some of my brothers and sisters in the ranks of the silvers and the golds and the bronze and the coppers that may want to help us in this quest." He says, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea."
I second that. That sounds freaking awesome.
And so then he says, "Very well. Have any of you been in touch with Mordenkainen?"
Yes.
Much help he was.
I presume he was the one that suggested you come here.
He said, "Rescue the king. Don't tangle with the kraken." Basically.
Sound advice. But any ship that is in the service of a creature like that probably has some powerful people aboard. I wonder, we have an orb that I can use. No, this would be Count Thullen says, "We have an orb that I can use to both fly the ship and to scry. We should try to find out everything we can about this Morkoth, the ship, and see if we can scry it. And if we haven't been successful by the time we get to Maelstrom, perhaps we can get the princess to bring us something that belongs to King Hecaton, and we can use that to try to scry on him directly. That might help.
I know whenever a boat was made, diagrams and schematics would have been made up and kept at the harbour master's office. I've helped make enough of them.
This is true. Do you know where the keel of the Morkoth was laid?
No, not me.
Well, then unless it is a ship of legend, then it's unlikely that we would be able to find it in any sort of reference book. We'd have to...
What if... the odds are probably good that it was made either in Waterdeep or... oh, God, my brain just went dead.
Neverwinter or...
Luskan.
Luskan.
It could have been made in Neverwinter, or it could have been made in the other town west of Waterdeep. Skull. Help me out.
Baldur's Gate?
Yes. Could have been made in Baldur's Gate, maybe even Luskan. I mean, how long will it take us to get to where we're going? I might be able to teleport around to some harbors and start asking around.
Oh, it will take several months for us to get there.
Oh my, what?
No, it won't. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of D&D actual movement.
Yeah.
It will take us perhaps a 10-day, perhaps 2 10 days to get there.
Well, that's
sorry.
more than enough time for me to zip around to different ports and see. I mean, I got a good eye on another port city earlier today. Yeah, got a little bit more of an eye full than I wanted, but might be able to check Port Nyanzaru or whatever it's called too.
Port Nyanzaru?
Yeah, Port Nyanzaru.
Yes.
I might be able to check those ports and see if her keel was laid there. See if they got any plans on her. Yeah.
Well, that would be definitely something of use. And of course, you all are welcome to use the library and the study and do any research that you need to. And Felgolos says, and by all means, Count, see what we can determine with the the orb of scrying. He says, yes, definitely will. Because that control orb is in many ways the most important part of the castle. Helps us determine where to go and lets us see where we are headed. Yeah. So that is good. And so is there anything else in particular that you guys want to ask them at the moment?
That's it for me. I just wanted to make sure you're aware that Blue Dragon was involved.
Oh, yes. And thank you for telling me. I think this is bound to have more allies rally to our cause.
I cannot wait to see that. It will be a sight to behold, and I will be blessed to see it. A bunch of dragons flying and doing battle in the sky. Oh, it will be a sight for the ages.
Yes, Master Dwarf. Yes, it will be. And with that, we have reached time on our game. Thank you guys, players. Thank you for coming and hanging out today and joining us. And viewers, thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us. We appreciate it very much. I am going to bring the music up just slightly to give a little background as we go through our post-session announcements. I have one very exciting announcement, and I've had to reschedule it twice now for two different reasons. One was thanks to my ISP Spectrum. The other was thanks to myself taking a nap and then oversleeping. We have reached a milestone over on the YouTube channel. We now have crossed the 100 subscriber threshold. So that's a good, that's a good little milestone. I usually like to do a special stream for that, and it just so happens that Wizards of the Coast helped us out this week by dropping a brand new source book. So I have gone through that source book. I haven't read it exhaustively yet, obviously, but I've gone through it, and I am going to do a stream probably on Tuesday night of next week, where I will give my first impressions of the Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. And then so that will be a special stream. Then in the days between now and then, we will have some of our regularly scheduled streams. On Saturday night, we will be playing the Saturday Night Greyhawk game. We will not be having the Walker of Waterdeep game on Sunday because I will be at the stadium for a soccer match. And then on Monday, I will be doing the, oh gosh, I had it here. Now I've got to look up what it's called again because I haven't memorized it yet. From the new Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, I will be looking at Great Worms. I will be doing Great Worms as my Monster Monday dragon on Monday night. So Great Worms they're kind of a reimagining of something that's been around for a while in various different editions of D&D, but they've now given us 5th edition stat blocks for them. And Fizban's has also introduced for 5th edition, they've introduced the Gem Dragons. And it's also shown why I tend to take the rules as written with a grain of salt, because I established over 2 years ago, in my Sunday game lore for a certain gem dragon, and Fizban's has totally said that, well, according to rules as written, that would be impossible. So, which is why, all right, that doesn't mean that I have to change my game. It just means that my timeline diverges from the official rules in the same way that J.J. Abrams' vision of a Star Trek where Vulcan is destroyed while Spock is still an officer on the Enterprise diverges from the rest of the canon. So it's like, yeah. I have gone one direction. Wizards of the Coast has decided to go another. So that is fun. But we're going to talk about some of the things I love about that book, some of the great resources it has for DMs, and there's some actually cool options in there for players as well. We'll talk a little bit about that, but how you can do that. So Monday night, we're going to focus on the Great Worms. Tuesday night, we're going to dive more into Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. And then we'll be back next Thursday for another edition of Sword Coast Chronicles. Also want to throw it over to Paul and Michael to let you know what's coming up on their channels and in their neck of the woods. So, Paul, please, what is coming up between now and next Thursday for you?
So nothing personally that doesn't conflict with your streams, and anyone watching, I would highly recommend checking out Gallows Fistbun streams. I'm also, as a player in this particular game, extremely excited with the prospect of a dragon army influenced by Fizban's new information as well. So this is going to be great. I'm already hyped. For me personally, there's a no, but I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout to our friends over at the Action Stirs. They really are a great group of people. They stream every Wednesday. 8 p.m. EST typically is the time they try and aim for. Yep, it is. They'll either be doing a dungeon crawler or their dungeon world game. I think they've got their dungeon world game, which is kind of like their version of Sword Coast Chronicles. But they're a great bunch of people. Definitely give them a look.
Yeah, and the nap that I referred to last night also saved me a little bit of heartburn because normally I like checking out John's stream over there on that, but my team was playing last night, and by the time I woke up from my nap, it was late in the match, and they were trailing 3-2, and they wound up losing. So it's like, okay, fine.
I slept through the worst of it.
Yeah, so I slept through the rest of it, and that meant I didn't have to get annoyed with them when they gave up those goals. The damage was already done by the time I woke up.
The benefits of a nap are never ending. I completely agree. I don't think anyone will judge you too harshly for taking a nap.
And Michael, what do you have coming up over on the Doors of Fear channel?
I'll try to stream something this week. This whole week, I haven't really done anything. Probably close to Halloween, I'll stream something. Maybe something spooky. I know that Phasmophobia put out a good update, so I might play some of that.
Okay. All right. And yes, remember this year Halloween is on a Sunday. Like I said, it's a home match for the soccer team, so I'll be at the game on Sunday, and for that, so that ought to be interesting. And it could be a real trick or treat for the team, depending on whether they win or lose. And then Saturday night, I did poll my players because I know around here, a lot of times when there's a Sunday night Halloween, there will be sort of organized things for families on the Saturday night of Halloween weekend. But everybody in my Saturday night game who has kids says, nope, I'm available to play. So we are going to have a session on Saturday. So that's, so that will be good. I think we have two parents in that game. So Jason and Joe both said, yep, we're around. Then let's see. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else in the way of announcements, unless anybody else has something they want to talk about.
Nope.
I briefly looked into the Roll20 celebration that's coming up in November. It's probably going to be an interesting thing to watch, but I was looking at it for whether or not there was any opportunity for doing anything in terms of running a game, and it looks like everything there is pre-programmed, and they are doing all kinds of sort of celebrity streams and stuff, which is okay. That's fine. It'd be interesting to see some of that when I'm not doing my own stuff, but
it is sad they're not embracing the community DM, like running an Adventures League game for like a horror themed one or something, or like a Halloween themed, like light Halloween. You got different levels of it. They could have done a lot more, quite frankly. It's a bit sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody have a great week. Viewers, thank you for hanging out. I'm going to go ahead and look at Twitch and see if there's anybody streaming some D&D that we can go check out right now. And let's see the category. Let's go take a look at. Okay. Oh, here's one. No, I think that's a different. It's a different language. So. Okay. So here is. Here we go. We'll take a look at.
No, we all fell off.
Let's take a look at what's happening over here. So, we're going to raid Iron Rice Bowl. And. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend, and we hope we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.